Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. All right, my brother, we're officially in quarter two. And whether you crushed quarter one or you got crushed by quarter one, the truth is that the clock doesn't stop ticking. So the question here for you is, are you fucking ready? Right? Because if you're not prepping, because if you're not planning, because if you're not executing, and because if you're not repeating the fucking process, all you're doing is just reacting. And men who react, man, they don't lead. Men who react get led. Men who react, they play behind the eight ball. Maybe men who react, they don't take control of their lives. And so today, we're going to dive into why quarter two is the most critical quarter for your momentum this year, right? And we'll go over the prep, the plan, the execute, and the repeat method, and which is a system that keeps high performance ahead in your life. And then we're also going to cover how to turn small daily habits into massive wins by the end of quarter two, right? But before we get into this, I want to tell you a quick little story, right? Because I used to never plan, right? And I'm actually a little ashamed of this story, and I almost didn't want to share it, but fuck it, why not? I want to be open. I want to share things from my past, and I want you to know the real me, and I want you to know the struggles that I've gone through, and the hardships that I've gone through, and the things that I've learned, and who've become the man that I am today, right? So I never used to plan. And as a result, I used to never follow through with the things that I wanted to do, right? And I called myself a professional procrastinator. And always leaving things to the very last minute. And bro, if I'm not careful, if I'm not leaning into my commitment over the convenience type of mindset that I always try to carry, that procrastination will come right in, right? And so the story here I want to tell you is back when I was in college, right? And I asked my wife for help back then. She wasn't my wife back then. She was my girlfriend. And I asked for her for some help because I was overloaded. I had so many things. I had picked one too many classes because I needed to make this one happen too. And work was busy. I was going to work full time. I was doing school full time. And I was the president of the student association. And I just had so much shit going on. But I needed to take this extra class. And so I asked for a favor. And I was like, babe, could you take this class for me? Not the right thing to do, right? But I needed it, right? Knowing that I could have fucking handled it if I would have just locked in more. I would have, man, it's crazy how you look back and you're like, oh, 2020 is hindsight, right? And looking back, there were so many ways that I could have made that happen, but I chose the easy way out and I asked for help and it ended up backfiring me. And the reason why it backfired because she was busy too. She was doing her thing. She was going to make it happen, and it was an online class. And I'm not too good at the online classes. I like more in person, this and that. But she made it happen. And what happened was that she just let it slip by, and she got a bad grade in the class, and that was like my graduating year. And because of that one fucking class, right, it lowered my GPA, and I didn't get to graduate I was being qualified to graduate as a magna cum laude, which is a 3.7 GPA, and I had back then I didn't know at the time that I was going to earn the outstanding graduate award. And then, mind you, this here story that we're talking about, this GPA difference, didn't make a difference because I was so involved in giving back and helping everyone in the construction management program and fucking leading and just that it actually didn't make a difference whether I got that award or not, but it made a difference whether I got a magna cum laude or I graduated with a cum laude, which is a 3.5 GPA. And it all backfired because I didn't fucking plan, right? And so it was just funny because I gave her all this shit. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? And I was all pissed. And I was like, oh, how could you do this to me? And this and that. And then thinking back of it, and I was like, oh, I was such a fucking dick. Right? I was such a dick because she was there helping me. She was, she had a lot on her plate too, and she was helping me. And yeah, she kind of dropped the ball. She could have told me, hey, look, I can't get this done, and I would have had to pick up the slack. But I just relied on her, and I blamed her for it. And yet the reality is that I should have blamed myself because of the lack of planning, because of procrastinating, because of not following through with the things that I said I was going to follow through. And so the lesson that I want you to learn from that story is to believe in yourself, right? To fucking to make a plan, to review the plan, and to execute on the plan and to repeat the strategy, put it into play, and know that you have what it takes to create the things that you want to create, right? And it all starts with really a recalibration, right? Like here we're talking about the start of quarter two, and so we need to recalibrate how our last quarter went, right? We need to do a 90-day review. We need to be able to adjust the strategy that we put into play last quarter, and if and if and if you're like most men who ran into quarter two without looking back at quarter one, or actually more men than not that didn't even have a fucking plan in quarter one, then that's a mistake that you need to handle, right? That is the game changer for you right here, right? If you didn't have a plan, making a plan is going to make it even better, right? If you didn't review your plan from last quarter, now is the time to review it, right? You don't drive forward by staring at the rearview mirror, but you sure as hell don't ignore it either, right? As assess the good, look at what went bad, look at what was horrible, and what in quarter one, like what worked for you, right? What didn't work for you, right? Like what gave you energy, right? What drained your energy? Like what had you happy? What had you sad? What had you angry? What helped you cope with a lot of the stress that you have going on? What helped you become happier, become more fulfilled? Like think about how you performed in the last quarter so that you can pull the things that worked and let go of the things that didn't, so you can fucking strategize and kill this quarter too, right? Like cut the dead weight. Like what's stealing your time? What's stealing your energy? What's stealing your progress? Think about it, right? Write that shit down and do an analysis, right? Like think if you really want to do better in this next quarter, then it's going to take you doing an analysis, right? Like double down on your strengths. Like if something was like move the needle significantly in your life, then go all in on that shit, right? If something didn't work for you, then know that you got to change that up, right? But you takes and doing an analysis of how you did the last quarter, the last 3 months for you in order to have a better and a more killer ass quarter two. This is the game changer. If you fucking had a whack ass quarter one and you don't plan again and you have a whack ass quarter two, by the time half of the year comes around and you're going into quarter three, like, oh, I already killed half of the year. What the fuck? There's no time to turn it around. You're gonna be so fucking behind the eight ball that you're probably not gonna turn it around, even though you still have the power to. But right now in quarter two is where we build the momentum so that we can go into the second half of the year on fire. Like, think about it. Like, man, if your fitness goal was to drop 10 pounds, but you only lost 5, why? Right? Why did you only lose 5? Did you skip some of your workouts? Right? Like, maybe you said you were going to work out every day, but you only worked out 5 days a week. Maybe you said you were going to work out 5 days a week and you only worked out 2 or 3 days a week. Right? Or maybe that you slipped your diet. Like, right? Maybe you got really slack on the weekends. Right? Like, be honest with yourself. Adjust and then move forward. I know that was a big thing for me. Like lately I've been pushing so hard and fucking making things happen, and I've been on this 4 a.m. tip nonstop. That I've been slacking a little bit, and I've said a lot more than a little bit, probably a lot on the fucking quality sleep that I'm getting in my life. And because of the quality sleep that I'm getting in my life, I'm fucking eating a lot more. I'm eating a lot more junk. I'm finding myself always going to the fridge or always picking up a snack or always because I'm lacking the energy, right? And so what happens is that is showing up in my belly and I'm kind of losing my sight of my abs. And so that is a reflection that I've had. And now moving forward, I need to be able to fucking get more strict with my sleep schedule, right? When my bedtime alarm goes off, because I do have a bedtime, and if you don't have one, I encourage you to put one on. Fucking abide by that shit, right? Like, know that if you want to wake up early, then you got to go to sleep early, right? Because if not, you're going to be ragged on energy. And then when you're ragged on energy, you're going to be fucking just eating, and your self control is not going to be there, right? And you're going to slip on your diet. And so if you're fit, you had a fitness goal, then know that that shit's going to go out the window. But it takes you analyzing what went fucking bad, what worked, what didn't work, what had you feeling on fire, what had you feeling on low on energy. It takes you analyzing everything that happened in the last quarter for you to fucking have a better quarter this next month coming in. You see, the prep, the plan, the execute, and the repeat method is what I typically use, right? Most guys that set goals, right? There's no doubt about it. Like, if you're a high performing man, you probably set goals, right? At least those who want to win, right? But very few actually build systems that guarantee that they make the things that they want happen, right? The difference between the two guys is that winners don't hope, they plan and they execute, right? You see, when you prepare, You get crystal clear on what success looks like for you in quarter two, right? Like, what is the one goal you want to achieve? And then I would even add to this that what is the one big goal over the year that you're working on, right? And then what are the steps that you need to do in quarter two and quarter three and quarter four in order to still make that goal happen this year, right? And then when you plan, it's the second part of the plan, right? Of the method, I should say, right? When you plan, you got to reverse engineer the daily actions that you need to take in order to win. Like, what did you need to do? Like, what is the goal? And then think backwards, reverse engineer how to create that goal in your life, how to create that target, how to hit that target, how to smash that target. You got to be able to reverse engineer and then map it out into your daily actions. And you got to show up every day. If you don't fucking show up every day, you ain't gonna make it happen, which that is part of the next one, which is execute. You need to show up daily. No fucking excuses. It's not showing up when it's convenient. It's not showing up when you feel like it. It's not showing up when it's like, oh, okay, today I have the motivation. Fuck that shit. You gotta show up every day because you're committed to it. If this is important to you, then you're gonna make it a non-negotiable. This is why I'm on that 1,000 day streak, because these are the areas that were non-negotiable to me, that expanding, to evolving, to leveling up, because they've made so much impact in my life that I made them non-negotiable. So no matter how I fucking feel, I show up for myself and I make them happen. And then the last part of the method is really to repeat, right? Prepare, plan, execute, and then repeat. And repeat means that you're reviewing, that you're tweaking, and that you're refining what you have going on every single week. Like, I typically do this on Monday morning, but before I used to do it on Sunday night, right? And so I look at my week, what did I have planned? And I usually have like a little meeting with myself, and I see, okay, what are the goals for this week? And actually, I'll take it a step back. What are the goals for this year? What are the goals for this quarter? What are the goals for this month? What are the goals for this week? Right? And I'm literally reversing engineer what I need to do so that I can show up and I can have a plan to execute on that week, right? But it takes you reviewing and having this document, this for you to be able to tweak it and refine it every single week as you adjust, so that you can continue moving the needle in your life. Right? Like, think about it. Like, if your quarter two goal is to increase your income by $10,000, don't just say it. Like, you need to map out how you're gonna fucking make this 10 grand, right? Like, think about it. How many sales calls per week are you gonna make, right? What's the skills you need to sharpen in order to make that happen? Like, what distractions do you need to let go of? Like, you see, without the specifics, a goal is just a wish, right? But if you get nailed down on what you have to do, on the strategy, on the tactics that you need to implement, then you significantly increase the chances of you nailing that target, right? And then you got to just make this shit a non-negotiable. And you got to fucking focus on the micro wins. The secret, my friend, is consistency. And it's actually not that big of a secret. The thing is that everyone knows that you got to be consistent, but no one wants to follow through with the consistency because it's hard, right? Because it takes effort, because it takes you not giving into your emotions. It takes fucking kicking convenience out the motherfucking window and knowing that if you're committed to doing this shit, it's gonna take grit. It's gonna take determination. It's gonna take drive. It's gonna take you showing up when you don't want to fucking do this shit, right? Because big wins come from stacking small wins, day in and day out. Whether you feel like it or whether you're not, you gotta stack those motherfucking wins every single day. You see, most guys, they fail not because they don't try, but they fail because they rely on motivation instead of the discipline, right? So define your 3 non-negotiables for quarter two. Like, what is it going to be? Like, it could be either fitness, it could be, your business, it could be your relationships, it could be, a motorsport goal, it could be something that drives your career forward, it could be something that drives, your mental capacity forward, your spirituality. What is it? Like, well, whatever it is, like, nail down what are your 3 non-negotiables for quarter two. The reason why I like to do 3 is because you can focus on hitting one every month, right? Each quarter is divided into 3 months. And so what are the 3 non-negotiables? Like, focus on stacking the small daily wins. Even when you don't feel like it, that's when it's actually the most important for you to show up when you don't feel like it. And after you do it, you're like, yo, I didn't want to do this shit today, but I still showed up. That's how you start building yourself up, right? Another thing that works is you can use an accountability system, right? Or track your shit to stay the course. For me, I use both of them. I use an accountability, and I went online, and I posted on my social media, and I was like, yo, if you don't fucking see a post from me, it's because I failed. And I've never fucking missed a post, right? Um, and then I track my fucking daily non-negotiable tasks, right? Every day I'd knock them out, bam, 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 bam. And I fucking, you'll see a picture on my story every single day of what day it is, right? And I use that as my accountability for me to show up for myself. And a lot of times at the beginning, now it's like clockwork, right? But when I first started it, if I wouldn't have the accountability, if I wouldn't have gone on and be like, yo, if you don't see a fucking post from me every day on my story, it's because I missed. I would have fucking probably gave up. I would have probably just thrown in the towel because there were days that were fucking hard. But that has built me up and has created the mental capacity, expanded my mental bandwidth of what I know it can do in my life. And so instead of saying, oh, I'm going to work out more, make it like to the point. Like, oh, I'm going to work out 30 minutes, 5 times a week, no matter what. Or shit, I even encourage you to do 30 minutes every single day, no matter what. Right? It doesn't have to be some crazy strength training, muscle building activity. Just dedicate 30 minutes of walking. I guarantee you, all you did was 30 minutes of walking, intentional walking, every single morning, no matter what, you will see changes in your life. Or maybe you could be like, oh, I'm going to spend 1 hour of undistracted time with my kids every single day. Or if you don't have kids like me yet, God is working on blessing us on that category. Maybe you're going to be like, I'm going to spend 1 hour of undistracted time with my wife every single day. Or maybe you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every weekday and I'm going to dominate my mornings every single weekday. Like whatever it is for you, make it a non-negotiable and commit, but get specific on how you're going to attack this shit. You see, small wins equals momentum, and then momentum equals success. And what really brings the progress is that progress equals happiness. When you create progress in your life and you start seeing yourself stacking these small daily wins, you start being happy because you start seeing, you're like, yo, I'm fucking making this happen. No matter the hard days up ahead, no matter what like how fucking tired you felt, you still made it happen. And when you wake up, you're like, I made another day, baby. And then you just build this internal confidence over yourself and you start feeling on fire more days than that. And so my question for you here as we wrap up this episode is, if Q2 ended today, if when you're listening to this right now, Q2 was ending, would you be proud of how you showed up? And so my challenge for you is set your 3 non-negotiables for Q2 and then commit to them every single day for the next 30 days. Hopefully for the next 90 days. But what happens if you commit to just 30 days of them and you track them and then you prove to yourself that you can follow through with them? Bro, the next 60 you're going to be like, yo, I'm going to be on fire. Of course I'm going to know this. I already got 1 month down. I got another one to go and then another one. You just build the momentum for yourself, right? But it starts with making you make the commitment. With you dedicating yourself, with you showing up and saying, enough is enough. I'm going to make this happen right now. I'm going to make this year my year. This is the time to make it happen. So my brother, the future is yours to make happen. Your future self is built today. Like your future self is calling you, it's knocking on you, it's fucking wants to slap you and be like, yo, wake the fuck up. Let's make this shit happen. I need you to do this shit right now so that we can have a gangster ass life later. I'm waiting for you. If you don't make this happen, we ain't gonna make these goals happen, right? So don't wait for the motivation. Be a man who preps, be a man who plans, be a man who executes, and be a man who repeats. That's how you win. Not just Q2, but in all your fucking areas of life. Let's get to work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. By any chance you still haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. If you connected with today's message, if you resonate with today's message, do me a favor and share this on your story. Make sure that you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that help more gearheads like you and me to really see and hear about this podcast, and ultimately, that's how our community grows. Catch up with you on the next episode, but till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.